Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the new OPPO Find N6. I've been looking forward to this phone as I used the Find N5 last year and did a video about that, but thanks to OPPO for sponsoring this video so I could share this one with you and get it fairly early. Now this, like I said, is the OPPO Find N6, and it comes in two different colors, Stellar Titanium and Blossom Orange. This is the Blossom Orange color, so let's go ahead and open it up. So we'll pull this back here. And this has a very big upgrade this year, so I can't wait to see this. Let's go ahead and open it up here. And here's the phone itself. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Let's set it aside and see what comes in the box. So within the box, you'll see that we get a few different things here, it looks like. So it looks like we've got a case, we've got a safety guide, we also have a quick start guide, or a quick guide, safety guide, a case. So let's take this out and we'll take a look at that after. We also have a SIM card ejector tool that's here. We'll set that aside. We've of course got our wall plug and then our USB-C adapter. So it looks like this is your typical USB-C to USB-A adapter that you get with OPPO products. So let's go ahead and remove the wrapper here and take a closer look. So we'll flip it over here, we'll remove the sticker off the back, and here you can see that new Blossom Orange color. Now the big thing this year is the display. It has a zero feel crease, so you're supposed to be able to feel it much less than you typically would. You can barely see that crease. It is slightly visible, but you can barely see it. If I bring you in even closer, you can barely see any crease. So this is a new sort of hinge and everything else we'll talk more about in detail in a moment, but let's go ahead and fold this a few times and see what it looks like after the fact. Is sometimes when you fold a phone, they can actually crease. So we'll fold it about 15 to 20 times. So that should be enough. You can see there, it looks basically the same. Let's take a closer look even with macro. So under macro, you can see there's barely any crease there. You can't really notice much at all. If we get just the right angle, you can see there might be a slight variance, but you can't even feel this if you bring your finger across it. So if we go up to the top here, the same is true, and that's thanks to the new hinge that we have. So again, this new hinge, if we bend it here, you'll see how it folds and then the screen goes into it. So all new technology for this hinge, and it's a second generation. So what makes this a zero feel crease where you definitely can tell there's something there? If you lightly move your finger over it, you can't feel a thing. It has a 3D liquid printing process and carbon fiber support plate that make it a zero feel crease. It uses a large water drop hinge that's designed to allow the screen to bend a little bit more gently and reduce stress. It also has auto smoothing flex glass that's 50% thicker this time around than ultra thin glass and offers 100% improvement in shape recovery according to OPPO. It also features the TÜV Rheinland folding certifications, which after 1 million folds, it operated flawlessly thanks to the new hinge, and also after 600,000 folds, the display remains exceptionally flat. Now let's take a look at the overall design of it, as this is a little bit different than the OPPO Find N5 of last year. It has grade 5 titanium and 7000 series aluminum with a second generation titanium flexion hinge. So the grade 5 titanium alloy and advanced 3D printing I mentioned before with the zero feel crease hinge is what's new here. It also has new snap keys that are fully customizable here at the top, and then of course they've moved some of the buttons down to make them fall more naturally where your thumb is. When it comes to the overall thickness, it's the same as last year, which is at 8.93 millimeters thin and 225 grams. So incredibly thin just holding on to this. It also has nanocrystal glass, which provides 20% greater puncture resistance. And then on the back, thanks to this ring that they call the Cosmos ring, the camera module makes it lie flat. So there's no rocking side to side just by bouncing or tapping on the display. It's much, much better than what you get with just a camera that's off to one side. So before we turn it on, this is an IP56 rated phone, as well as IP58 and IP59 certified. The cover display is a 6.62 inch LTPO, as well as 120 Hz display, 1800 nits outdoors, and up to 3600 nits when playing HDR video. It also goes down to 1 nit of minimum brightness. It's also supposed to function at 2160 Hz for PWM, making it a flicker-free display. The internal display is similarly impressive, where it's an 8.12-inch LTPO display, again 120 Hz, 1800 nits of outdoor brightness, 2500 nits of peak HDR brightness, down to 1 nit this time around, and also has that same high-frequency PWM dimming, so 2160 Hz, so you really shouldn't be bothered by this, but I'll have to test that out. It's also polarizer free, so it should reduce power consumption significantly. Let's go ahead and turn it on here. We'll get it set up. So give it just a moment here, see if it'll turn on. There we go. I felt the vibration, it turned on. And again, it's almost imperceivable, this actual crease. So if you press and hold your finger over it, again, it's very hard to tell it's there. So it's booted up from directly. I can't even tell there's a crease whatsoever. The screen looks uniform across it. Maybe a slight change right here, but it's very hard to tell there's a crease here. Let's go ahead and get this set up. We'll select my region here. We'll tap next. And this is also talking about folding. It says when folding your device, avoid pressing the crease and do not place any objects such as cards, coins, or keys on the screen. Do not press the screen using pointed or hard objects. It says an exclusive screen protector comes with this device. Do not remove it or replace it with another one. And then also it says this device contains precision components. Please avoid getting liquid or sand into the device to extend the service life. There's a shallow crease in the middle of the screen. You may hear a faint sound when closing or unfolding the screen, which is normal. We'll tap next. We'll tap next on the user agreement, and now we can set it up with another device. We'll get this set up quickly for now, but we can of course update this later. It says getting your phone ready now that I've connected to Wi-Fi. We won't copy anything for now. Again, I'll come back and set this up a little bit later. It says checking info. Then you can sign in with Google. Again, I'll do this later. And you can connect to a mobile network as well. We have dual SIM card capability. So let's go ahead and take a look at that while we wait for this to be set up here. I've got the SIM card removal tool here. So let's go ahead and eject this and take a look. It should support 2 physical SIM cards. So it looks like it does, one on each side if you want to use that, as well as eSIM capability. So we'll skip setting up the SIM for now, and then we can set this up with fingerprint ID. So let's go ahead and do that. And we'll use a numeric password. The password is required every 72 hours or when the phone restarts. We'll tap done, and we'll need to set up their fingerprint here. So let's get that set up on this tiny little sensor here. That going here. Have to move my finger around a little bit more. And it vibrates every time I set my thumb down. The haptics are fairly impressive here too. There we go. We'll tap done, and then we'll tap next. We'll have to agree to Google services. That's fine. And we'll wait for the phone to get ready. We'll skip sign in for now, like I mentioned before. And then there's all of these recommended services. So you can opt out of all of these if you don't want any of them, but we'll just tap agree for now. For the screen mode, we have a few different options, standard, natural, and vivid. So depending on what you like, we'll use vivid for now, and then you can use gestures or buttons. So I prefer gestures, and now we're in. This is Color OS like we would expect with an OPPO device. And you can see the main screen. So this is default. I haven't changed anything. And of course you can remove any of these apps you don't want here. So you can uninstall Facebook, for example. No problem whatsoever. And then of course we can move something else in place. So if we want TikTok there or whatever we want, it feels very fluid and fast. Let's close it, as they always have great opening animations. So if we unlock here, we'll swipe up to continue. We'll lock it. Let's open it. And you can see it ripples out. Now, of course, it's still finishing setup, but it's got quite a few things here. But let's talk about the cameras for a moment. Now, the good thing is we have the camera here in the upper right on the inner display, and we also have one on the outer display. They are both 20 megapixel cameras capable of 4K video. On the back, we have a 200 megapixel main camera, f1.8, an all-new 50 megapixel ultra-wide that captures 50% more light than the previous phone at f2.0, and a 50 megapixel 3x telephoto zoom lens at f2.7 with 10 centimeter telemacro photography capability. We also have a true color camera, the same as the Find X9 series, to capture accurate white balance data in f2.4. So it has a very similar layout to what we have with the X9 series phones like this one. Now, as far as the internals, let's talk about the battery for a moment. Because it's an OPPO, of course, it supports Super VOOC charging. We have a 6,000 milliamp hour silicon carbide battery. It supports 80 watt Super VOOC wired charging in the United States and 50 watt Air VOOC wireless charging. So, of course, you'll need the right plug for that, but let's go ahead and open this up, unlock it, and you can see it here. Now, running the super smooth display is Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. It also, of course, supports Wi-Fi, Bluetooth in multiple bands, but has a network boost chip, S1, which helps Find N6 integrate 2 additional external antennas on the side of the frame. OPPO actually says to expect a 30 to 40% improvement in signal performance over the previous generation. So that should be really impressive, even if you're in a difficult situation there. It also looks like we have a screen protector installed here on the main screen as well, so that's pre-installed, and let's go ahead and open it up. Now we should be able to do 4K 120 video as well. So let's open this up here, give it a second. And of course, this is a Hasselblad supported camera as well. So you'll see we have a bunch of different options such as smart screen. And this time, if maybe we go into video, so let's get out of this, we'll go over to video. We have a master mode, of course, as well. And if we go in here, we've got 4K, again, up to 120 frames per second. And it supports Dolby Vision and log as well, but we'll leave it on 4K 60 for now. We'll test that in a little bit. But again, everything is so smooth just going through it. Let's see what kind of operating system updates we have here. So if we go into our settings, we'll go down here on the left and we'll go to System and Update. Now you'll see we have Software Update. Let's see if we have anything else. So I do have an update. This is, of course, ColorOS 16. Before we update that, let's take a look at the actual Android version as well. So again, under About Device, we have 512 gigabytes of storage internally on this device and 16 gigs of RAM. But again, you'll see that 6,000 milliamp hour battery. And if we scroll down here, go under Version, you can see at the bottom, it's Android 16, and it was updated in February. So it's up to date and everything else. Of course, we've got a bunch of OPPO AI features we'll take a look at in just a moment, but let me get this updated. Now the phone is all set up, but now I've actually been using it for about 2 weeks and it's been a great experience. You'll see I'm connected to Wi-Fi as well as cellular. So let me open this up and I wanted to share some of the features that we have built in. We have free flow windowing that allows up to 4 different windows. So for example, if I open up Chrome, we can bring in the window from the bottom right and then resize it. We can resize it however we'd like, or we can go to the 3-dot menu at the top and switch it to full screen, split view, minimize, close, or swap apps. So for example, maybe I want to bring in the calculator. Let's sort of shrink that one. We'll bring in photos, do the same. And if I swipe up, they all go into the upper right. I can double tap to bring it full screen, double tap the other, it will swap out. And again, you can keep doing that. Super simple to use, makes it very easy. And again, if I swipe up, they sort of minimize or go to the upper right. Now, if we open up a few more windows, so let's open up maybe Chrome here, then we'll go into, let's move this to the side. So you can minimize it by throwing it to the side, tap it, it brings it right back. Super easy to use. And again, if we go down and open up maybe files this time. So now we have some files open. You'll see we have a bunch of different apps. Let's go into Chrome. We'll swipe home. And again, it will minimize them all to the upper right. If I want to bring those in at any time, just tap on it. It will bring it up to the front. And again, we can rearrange this however we'd want. But if we want to see them all at once, there's some gestures. So pinch out and it goes into boundless view. So you can switch over here, switch over to here, and you've got all of your windows sort of arranged in a card style to make it easy to view. If you want to return to free flow mode, just pinch in and now you're back to free flow mode. Super simple to use. Again, once you learn all the gestures, it just makes it very easy to use this. Again, throw it to the right. We're minimizing windows here, and then you can minimize multiple windows. So tap and you'll see both of your windows here. Go into it, makes it really easy to use. And of course, you've got split view and everything else. But there's even something more that's impressive. So if I swipe all of these off, they have this AI pen that you can use with the phone. So it connects to the case, and then also the case has reverse wireless charging. So if we connect this here, so we'll just close it, connect it. We've got our pen right here. So once it's connected, it reverse wireless charges. And in 3 minutes, you can use this for 60 minutes. A total charge will give you 120 minutes. So you've got these 2 pogo pins here, and then you've got a button with the pen, and it works on both displays. So if I turn on the display here, so let's open this up, turn on the display. You can use it with this display, Or if we open it up, again, you can use it with this display. And using it across this crease, you don't feel it at all. It's actually a really great experience. It has 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity, and again, it pairs automatically. Now there's a couple different things we can do here. So maybe we want to go to this website. We'll move it around, and if we swipe from the top right, we can now annotate over the website. So maybe we want to draw, circle something, maybe we want to point an arrow at something. We can share this with someone and notify them, maybe check this out, change this button, or do whatever you'd like. You can notate the whole screen. If you want to write on it, you can do that. Again, you can highlight whatever you'd like to do, but this can do a lot more than that. So let's get out of this for now. We'll discard it. And if we click maybe the button here, if we click it once, it brings up our little toolbar. We have 4 different options. We have capture, we have quick note, annotate, and laser pointer. If we go into quick notes, of course we have notes here. So this is a note. And of course you can just keep that for now, tap done, and you're good to go. Bring it up anytime you'd like. But if we go back into notes, so let's get rid of this for now. We'll go back into notes here. Now, if we go into notes, you'll see here's a note that I just wrote earlier, and we'll go into this one. You'll see it says OPPO Find N6 has some of the features. And if we press and hold on this button, then circle the note here, we get a new option. Down here, if we tap on this option, we can then select to create a chart out of whatever's here. We'll tap on chart, give it just a moment. It will then generate the chart, working with Google Gemini as well, so we'll give it a moment to complete. So it generated this and made it much cleaner than what I had drawn behind it. So you have OPPO Find N6 features, and then each one of them broken down into their own section. Then we can export it as well. So if we go into export, we could maybe export it as a PDF, or an image, and then open it in our favorite reader, whatever we want to use it with, and view it in our documents here. So this is a great feature that makes this super helpful, especially if you're trying to organize information here. One other thing you can do with the pen is extract text from things. So maybe we'll go into a website here. On OPPO's own website, we'll press and hold, circle this, and then tap the button for text, and it will extract the text right out of that. So give it just a moment here, and we've got all of the different text that was here. I can extract OPPO, Reno, Color OS, whatever we want, select it, and then I can share it, copy it, or whatever you'd like. So it's copied text, and then I can send it to a device or something else. It's super helpful and super simple. Now, if we go back into notes, we can do one other thing with this as well. So I drew a little picture of a house. It's not very good, but I just did this quickly. And again, if we press and hold, circle this, give it a second here, we go into this option, and now we can generate an image. So we'll select the style. We have picture book, watercolor. Let's just do watercolor here and generate the image using Google. So again, this is using Nano Banana to generate this, and it will take a moment, and let's see what it does. So you'll see it extracted my image, drew what it looks like here, and now we have something that looks much better than what I was able to draw here. So you can draw just about anything and then generate that image. Super useful and helpful, especially if you're doing a presentation, and you can change the style as well. So we'll swipe home. Again, we have our windows here to the right, things I worked on before. And this also is Bluetooth, so you can use it for the camera. So if we go into the camera, let's get rid of this for now. Swipe it off to the side here. We can use it for the camera, and it will take a photo. So you'll see I just press the button, it takes the photo, makes life very simple with that if you want to take a photo from a distance. So using this on the display, there's no concern here. It seems like it's very durable and no issue whatsoever. So let me place this back on the back of the OPPO Find N6. This time we'll go into the camera, and I used the camera a little bit the other day. So I went into the city nearby. You can see here's some images I took, and they look great. This was not something that had to sit for maybe 30 seconds and try and capture this. It just did a great job. And this is zoomed in. This is incredibly impressive. So this is zoomed all the way into the top of this tower. So if we go back here, you'll see how far away that is. So this is at night. Everything looks clean and crisp. There's no noise in the blacks. And again, if I zoom in here, you'll see that's what it looks like if I just pinch and zoom. But if we go and actually use the zoom lens, super crisp and clear, everything looks pretty great. And then if we go into as far as we can, this was the top of some of that building. So it looks really great. Of course, it's enhancing some of that utilizing onboard AI, and it looks very, very impressive. It's that light that's right there. So I zoomed in all the way, and you can see what it looks like. So very, very impressive. And just the photos in general seem to be impressive. One other thing I wanted to share is I was in a Waymo in San Francisco. I wanted to try it out, so I was recording some video here. You can see others are doing the same. And again, here's another view from the window of a hotel I was staying in. You can see in the distance is Alcatraz. If I zoom in, everything looks crisp and clear. And that was one of the buildings there. So that's how clear it is from a distance. Of course, this is zoomed in and then crisped up a little bit with onboard AI. It looks very, very impressive though. One other thing I wanted to share is the built-in AI. So you'll see under our options here, we have AI search. Now these are completely opt-in, they're off by default, and you have to enable them. So it says a smart and effective way to search for on-device content, and you can turn this on and then opt in or out based on what type of file or what you want it to see. So files, calendar, Mindspace, notes. If you want it to look at everything, leave it all enabled or just turn it off altogether if you don't want it. Of course, we have some other options as well, such as AI Writer. It allows you to suggest AI for different social media posts and things like that. So you can open it up from the input method, the bottom toolbar, or the text editing menu. So again, if you want to use this while you're writing, you can do that. And then you have AI Translate, AI Voice Scribe, and AI Painter. Some of those features carry across to what I showed you with the AI Pen as well. As far as my final thoughts on this device, this is a phenomenal foldable device. It never slows down. It feels super fast all the time, super smooth, and also it doesn't bother my eyes with PWM or anything like that. And having the pen, as well as some of the built-in features with the Hasselblad camera, everything's just very impressive here. The crease is almost unnoticeable except for a couple different angles here at the top. Otherwise, looking at it, you can't see it at all. It's not something that bothers you. It's not something you can feel unless you really press into the display. It's just a great update for this phone, and it looks great as well. One of my favorite features across all their phones, though, is SuperVOOC charging. For example, the other day I needed to go out, take some photos with this, and I was down to about 28%. I plugged it in, bumped it up to 40% in just a few minutes. So you'll see it's going to charge here. It vibrates the phone and says SuperVOOC. So it charges super fast, especially at lower rates here or lower battery percentages. You'll see it just picks up super fast, and it's one of the best things about this. It lasts at least a day for me, sometimes a day and a half. Standby mode is days on this. In the battery, you'll see we're at 91%, and it thinks it can last about 23 hours and 31 minutes in balanced mode. We have high performance mode, and you'll see I just plugged it in a little bit here. It bumped it up. I left it plugged in for a while, but again, take it off the battery. It will easily last you through a day, unless you're a very heavy multitasker using AI all the time on the larger display. Then you may have to plug it in, but it's not a big deal. It just charges right up super fast, so no issues there. I think overall, the OPPO Find N6 is a super impressive phone, and the display is the one to beat at this point. I haven't seen a display this good yet on a folding phone, so this is super impressive. The cameras are impressive, also combined with Hasselblad, and I do like this new orange color. It's a little less subtle than what Apple has done, for example, so it looks a little bit nicer. It's more of a cream color as opposed to super vibrant orange. I just think it looks great overall. So let me know what you think of the OPPO Find N6 in the comments below. If there's anything else I can answer in the comments, let me know, and I'll try and answer any questions you have about it as well. Of course, I'll try and link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.